Sesko's arrival at Manchester United was met with excitement and trepidation from the fan base. A 22-year-old striker with the potential to either finally solve our striker issues or be another failed expensive gamble on another young striker. Like many strikers adapting to the Premier League, his start was gradual. Sub-appearances, some moments of promise. But the last few games have shown real signs of promise for Sesko, finding his feet in English football. 2 goals in his last 2 games. So what's changed for Sesko? How is he already impacting United's tactical approach? And how could the upcoming fixture against Liverpool provide an insight into different ways he can be deployed? Now, Sesko is somebody I was excited to sign. Right? I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. It always takes players some time to get you, certainly at United as well. But the last couple of performances, I think we've really started to see something from Sesko. And I'm going to go back to what we said during our sort of profile of Sesko during the summer and bring that forward to now. So when United signed Sesko, one of the key attributes we highlighted was his aerial dominance. His aerial stats, quite frankly, are outstanding. 2.6 aerial duels won per 90 with a near 60% success rate. Compare that to Xerxes at 29.9 and Højlund at just 24.6. This, as we said at the time, will be a huge step up from Højlund and Xerxes, and we're already seeing this materialise. Sesko so far this season has won 3.7 aerial duels per 90 at a win rate of just under 45%. That's a drop-off in success from last season, but it's a tougher, more physical league, and he's still getting used to it. Now, those numbers might not seem spectacular, but a little bit of context, it's a huge step up from United from where we were before with Højlund, with Xerxes, and with a target man that we didn't have. You'll remember so many times, every time the ball went up from Onana, even if it found Højlund, the ball would bounce off him and it would come straight back towards our defence. We've immediately seen a bit of a shift with that when it comes to Sesko being that centre forward instead. When we signed Sesko, we talked about an obvious weakness United have had for ages and how he could be an unexpected antidote. For too long, opposition have been able to press United with impunity, pushing really high up the pitch in the knowledge that United have got no real aerial threat. So when it gets kicked long, the centre-backs will just sweep it up and play it forward again. Now they'll be forced to respect that, which will allow United players greater time and space to play out from the back. We haven't seen any evidence yet of greater ability to play out from the back, but we are seeing the first part of this. United are going long and Sesko is winning flick-ons and holding the ball up. Now, it's only a matter of time, because of this, until the opposition are forced to adjust the aggression with which they press us. Now, Reggie Labrie, the Sunderland manager, said himself that they struggled with this part of United's game.
Under pressure, they won't take too much risks, so it was obvious that these long balls were part of the strategy. Yeah, if they want to go direct, they will go direct. So it's impossible to stop this idea.
And that 2-0 win over Sunderland really was the best example that we've seen so far of things that we discussed during the summer. Things that we're now seeing from Sesko in a United shirt. Against Sunderland, it wasn't just his goal, by the way, a very good striker's goal. Anticipation, positioning, movement to get that knock-in, that tap-in. It was his overall link-up play. It was his overall play as a striker. Out of possession, holding the ball up. Really was just an excellent centre-forward performance from him. And it's not just about what Sesko adds from winning long balls. Sometimes his presence is enough. Before the season started, we said this: go direct to Sesko, who can bring others into play. And his 28% flick-on success rate should create numerous opportunities for the runners behind. And we've already seen this to great effect. The best example being Sesko's flick-on to win the penalty against Chelsea. But he doesn't even really have to win these flick-ons to create danger. Now take this sequence against Sunderland. Sesko attempted to flick the ball on but was unable to reach it. The ball sailed over his head, but crucially, it also sailed over the head of the centre-back, who had engaged with Sesko. This meant that thanks to a favourable bounce, Cunha being alive and proactive, he found himself through on goal with just one man and the keeper to beat. Now, one thing I've really loved about watching Sesko so far, and it's something that I knew was going to happen, is his work rate. Now, just running around isn't the be-all and end-all of a successful Premier League footballer. But United, we've had so many passengers for so many years that players like Sesko stand out for the right reasons. For the wrong reasons that they expose what we haven't seen before, but for the right reasons in they have a relentless work ethic. It shouldn't be too much of a surprise. It's come from the Red Bull group, but it is embedded in Sesko, and it's starting to rub off on the others. Back when we signed Sesko, we did point to his work ethic as one of his standout qualities, and there was a great example of this against Sunderland. Bruno tried to find him in the box, but the pass was unsuccessful. What did Sesko do? He immediately hunted the ball down outmuscled a defender, and took control of the loose ball in the opposition penalty area. Now, previously, that wouldn't have happened. United had just lost possession at that point in time. Sesko, happy to chase down balls and has the physical attributes to win it back. But interestingly, definitely interestingly, Liverpool is next. Now, I think this is going to be, of course, the biggest test of United this season. We've failed at pretty much every other decent test. And for Sesko himself, it opens up a really interesting tactical battle and approach. Liverpool like to press the opposition high up the pitch. They always do at Anfield. Common sense suggests that we'll see this and have success with a lot of long balls up to Sesko again, right? It makes sense. There could be a little bit of an issue with that because Van Dijk and Konate are both in the top 3 for aerial dual win rate percentage this season, and they've been tested considerably more than most. It could see us sending long passes up to Sesko, the centre-backs winning the battle, and us being under pressure again constantly throughout the match. It's been a kryptonite for United over the last few years, so what can we do? How can we still make use of Sesko's aerial ability? The obvious choice is to shift him wide onto one of the fullbacks. Naturally, you wanted to stay away from Van Dijk, so let's say we put him on the right back. What does this mean for the left 10? Who we're going to assume will be Cunha for the purposes of this. Well, he's going to have to occupy the central space that's left by Sesko. He can either make runs in behind to chase flick-ons, or he can come towards a board in an attempt to create space behind for others. Now, genuinely, I could see United trying this against Liverpool because, when teams have played against United this season, they've set up to expose our weaknesses. Doing this, I think, could very much expose Liverpool's weaknesses and also play to the strengths of what Sesko brings. It's kind of a double-edged sword in that sense. And that positional rotation between Sesko and Cunha, it should lead to 2 more advantageous situations for United if it was implemented beyond just goal kicks. First, it could set up situations where Sesko is arriving at the back post to meet crosses from Mbeumo. This would be way more preferable to him battling to win headers in the centre of the box. At the far post, he'd be up against, Conor Bradley, or a distracted Konate, who will need to be given some attention to Cunha and central runners. The second situation this sets up is an opportunity to take advantage of what can sometimes be a negative of Van Dijk's game. His preference for backing off, not closing dribblers down, and twerking when people are trying to score. Anyway, we just saw this with Caicedo's goal against Liverpool. Who better to take advantage of this than Cunha, a player whose standout traits last season were his ball carrying and his ability to score from outside the box. It's this kind of tactical battle that makes having different profiles so interesting. And for Sesko this season, I can just only speak my opinion here. It's this sort of tactical battle that is going to be really interesting because I think so far, I've been really impressed with what I've seen from Sesko. But what can he do when he's up against some of the best in the league? It's not going to be easy against Van Dijk and Konate, and it won't be easy for United at Anfield. Can he deliver in those circumstances? Well, I suppose we're about to find out. Now, so far this season, I've really enjoyed what I've watched from him. He's a young lad. He's adapting to United. It will take time. It always does take time. It doesn't matter what happens at other clubs. Oh, he's settled in straight. Yeah, it's not United. It's a whole different ball game. And I actually think, he's settled in. You can see it in his post-match interview after Sunderland. I really like the way that he carried himself there. And I'm liking the way he's carrying himself on the pitch. In possession, out of possession. He was eased in slowly. We would have wanted him to start earlier. But in his last few games, 2 in 2, he's building momentum, he's building confidence, and he's looking like a bigger and better striker. Liverpool up next. What are you expecting? You can let me know in the comments about that game and also what you think about Sesko's season so far.